Hello everyone, Patriotic Nana here again. Just wanted to talk to you during this crazy time. Oh my word. How can it get crazier? But I probably shouldn't say that, should I? Anyway, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the protests that are happening, um, and let you know I'm all for peaceful protests. That's for sure. And you know that's what I do. I've done it many times during this COVID thing because I believe that the government has overstepped its constitutional bounds big time in this COVID time. And so I'm all for peaceful protests, that's for sure. And these two deaths, these two black guys, it is worthy of protest. I mean, it's crazy. And it's hard to take. It's hard to take. And I know so many people are it's overwhelming for them. And I couldn't even watch that video. I just couldn't watch it. And then to hear about this guy who went into the construction home, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, my husband and I do that, or we've done that many times. And I can almost guarantee you that those two guys would not have come after us if we would have been the one in that construction home. So there is a problem with that. That is for sure, that there is a double standard and it needs to stop. I agree. But I also know that sin is not ever going to stop. So how do we handle this? And we all know, I mean, I'm hoping we all know, handling it the way some of these protests went was not cool. And hopefully nobody's agreeing with that is in their right mind. You know, the people have been killed, but the media doesn't talk a lot about that. People have been killed during these protests. I mean, it's been horrible. The fires, the looting, everything else that's happened, that part of it is horrible. And I'm hoping everybody is on board with that. And the other thing that has gone way overboard is all of a sudden this white guilt is like popping up all over the place. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to take this white guilt on. And I don't believe most white people should take it on. I have never done or said anything like a lot of black people have gone through. I have never done it. So I'm not going to take that on. Matter of fact, I can't stand bullying. If I see it, it's really hard for me not to say something or do something. I don't care who the person is or what color they are. I cannot stand bullying. And that's the way most people should be. That's the way I feel. I feel like most people should get involved, even though I've seen and heard of atrocious things taking place in public, like this thing with George Floyd. Oh my gosh, if I were there, I know me. I know I'd have been screaming at that cop. I know I'd have been doing whatever I could if I saw what was happening. That's why I don't understand those other cops. I do not understand them. And that's the way I'm hoping everyone would do. I'm hoping everyone would be inclined to defend the defenseless, to really do something about bullies. And that is what's happening. I mean, it's racism in some cases. In other cases, it's plain bullying. And we all need to get involved with that. Oh man, if we see it, do something. Say something. Do something, say something. And I believe that really strongly. But I am not going to take on white guilt. I am the way God made me. One pastor was talking about the fact there's no such thing as race. We all came from the same Adam and Eve. Some of us have darker skin, some of us have lighter skin, but there's no such thing as different people. We are all one people. And as a Christian, there's something about meeting another Christian. I don't care where they're from or what they look like or whatever. There is something that connection of Christians being together and meeting each other, it's unlike any other connection. And I believe the church, if we love one another And if we have relationship with one another, that we can make all the difference in this country to just show how we love one another. Love covers a multitude of sins. And that's where I want to be. That's where I am in my heart, which means that if I really want a relationship with somebody, I have a pastor who had a list of things basically saying how white people should get along with black people. That's really what it was. And it's like, oh my word, some of these were off the wall. One of them was basically saying that if they perceived, like if I met someone or knew someone who was black and was talking to them and they perceived that I said something that might be racist, that they might get really mad at me and even start yelling at me. But me, being white, needs to just take it and step back, maybe breathe a little bit, but realize that I need to just take it because after all, I'm white. That's wrong. That is condescending to people. That's condescending to a very proud people to say that we need to treat them different than we would treat anybody else. And I think that's very so divisive, and it will not create relationship. And I heard a bunch of other, black pastors speaking, and they were not saying that. They were saying we don't need all whites to apologize for being white. And you know what? That is not where we need to be. We need to be loving each other. We need to be talking to each other. We need to be just ourselves with each other so you can actually create relationship. And if there's a problem, we need to talk it out. If there is something that, let's say I did say something really bad. Hey, I'll take it. I will definitely be able to see it and say, hey, I'm sorry, but I sure didn't mean anything by it. And I won't say that again. We need to be able to talk about it. But as far as, saying that we need to treat other people with kid gloves, you are saying that you are better than they are. And that is not where I'm at. I am not better than anybody. And I believe to have a relationship, we need to be able to just be ourselves. And yes, we may make mistakes. We may say things that, and they may say things, we may say things. I'm talking about black and white. Yes, I am. I'm talking about black and white. Because people are people. I say things to, I've made mistakes all through my life. But I discuss it with people. If I've hurt somebody, I discuss it with them. We get over it. So I feel really strongly about that. We need to be at one, and that means relationship, and that means not treating people different. So that's that one. So I so believe loving one another, praying for one another, supporting one another is where it's at. It's where it's at. And that does not make one person better than another person. That puts us on equal footing. And that's where we need to be, is equal footing. I don't know how anybody else can be friends with somebody if they feel like they can't be themselves. You just can't. You can't have relationship. And I hope that makes sense. I mean, I've seen so many people talk about this. And some pastors talk about it. White pastors. I follow a lot of conservative black leaders, pastors, Christians, and I believe that, they think like I do. We believe the same. We think alike. And I so admire them because you know what? They get excoriated. They're conservative like me. And they get excoriated not only by white liberals, but by other black liberals. And it hurts me to see how much they go through. And they're so tough and brave to be able to stick with it and be able to speak truth. They're speaking truth. And we as white people need to listen to them. We really need to listen to them. And they make the most sense. They make the most sense. And they can say it. They can say it. I can say things, but when they say it, it makes a difference because they live the same life. They've gone through the same things. So I encourage you, look up Black conservatives. Listen to them. Listen to what they have to say because it will make so much sense. And listen to me too. Hey, that's right. Love you all. Bye.